Okay, welcome back to the week after the sporting weekend. I hope it was a good sporting weekend for you. Um, for me, well, my team lost in the FA Cup, which turns out that they miss out on a new pot of prize money. Apparently, the last teams remaining from each division, League One, League Two, so on, get £250,000, which in Premier League terms is small fry, but when you get down the leagues, it's quite a substantial amount of money. And that's something that's coming this year, in part due to the TV money, a new TV deal for the FA Cup in place this year. So that's obviously affecting incentives, and we saw that there were some shocks on the weekend. Wimbledon beat West Ham, and Millwall beat Everton, and there are only 7 of the 20 Premier League teams remaining in the FA Cup. Too soon to really be able to say whether the this increased financial incentive for lower division teams is actually having an effect. But nonetheless, it's interesting. In this week's lecture, we're going to look at competitive balance, and we'll look at a paper by a very prominent sports economist called Stefan Szymanski, and he looks at the FA Cup as a way to look at how interesting games are. He looks at games that take place between two teams in the league competition and then in the cup competition, and asks the question, is there a difference in attendance? Clearly, everything else is identical between the league match and the cup match, is the argument. The only difference is it's a cup match rather than a league match. And do we care more or less about the cup versus the league, and is that relative to the level of balance in the two? The FA Cup over the years has arguably become less balanced, not least because of the gaps between teams at the top end of the Football League and the bottom reaches of the Football League. But that's our lecture on Tuesday, tomorrow, 11 till 1, Edith Morley 1 to 5. What else to say as we start the sporting week as well as the sporting weekend? You may have noticed there's a take-home test that is due on Friday of week 4, which will be, in terms of a date, that will be the 8th of February. Friday week 4 take-home test, 8th of February. It will be take-home, so given that's a Friday, I think there's probably already a Dropbox set up on Turnitin for that. I'll probably give it to you after the lecture that week. So what will that be? The 5th of February, and then you'll have until the 9th to submit it. Okay, just making a note for myself. What else? Well, this weekend also saw the climax of the Australian Open tennis, and Novak Djokovic beat Rafa Nadal in the men's event to cement the domination of those three men, plus Roger Federer, over the last 10, 15 years of men's tennis. The fact that those two guys were 31 and 32 in what's an incredibly physically demanding sport as tennis is quite something, and it's testament to obviously their staying power and how they organise themselves. We won't spend too much time thinking about the prizes on the show, but when you get to about week 9, when Carl Singleton's giving you a lecture, you'll think a lot more about the tournament design. Indeed, some of the academic papers in the literature have used tennis as an example of how tournaments can be designed in order to elicit effort by workers. So that's that. See you tomorrow at 11 o'clock for Edith Morley for Sports Economics, Competitive Balance. See you then.